Welcome back to Logan's Comics, where cosmic beings clash, ancient gods awaken, and the Marvel Universe teeters on the edge of oblivion. Today, we dive into a darkness older than light itself, and the nightmare that almost erased reality. Chaos King, the walking void. Before there was life, before there was order, before there was even the whisper of creation, there was him. A presence that existed not as a being, but as the first idea of emptiness. When the elder gods dreamed of shaping the universe, he remained awake, watching, waiting, amused by their attempt to build something in a place that belonged to him. Eons later, the world would know him by 1,000 whispered names, but only one truly mattered. Chaos King, a title bestowed not through worship, but through fear. In Chaos War 1, 2010, that fear becomes prophecy. The moment he tears through the realms of the dead, reality doesn't tremble, it screams. What makes the Chaos King terrifying isn't just the power, it's the intention. He's not ruling, conquering, or dominating. He's erasing, pure non-existence. A quiet, peaceful, horrifying end to everything. When he rises, he doesn't march with armies. He carries the stillness of a universe with no heartbeat, and yet, strangely, there's something almost human in the way he watches creation. Not admiration, but irritation, like an artist forced to observe someone ruin the blank canvas he once adored. In Incredible Hercules 138, 2009, when he slaughters the Japanese gods in a single sweeping instant, it isn't rage. It's boredom, like he's finally stretching muscles left unused since the dawn. But the truly chilling moment comes when he begins consuming the afterlives. Not worlds, not galaxies, afterlives. Realms meant to exist beyond death, some eternal, some divine, and he devours them like fading sparks swallowed by endless night, the Olympian underworld, the Egyptian Jewet, Hela's hell, the Skrull afterrealm, all vanish in Chaos War 2, 2010, as effortlessly as shadows swallowed when the lights go out. And as each one falls, the Chaos King grows, not in size but in meaning. The void expands and creation shrinks. By the time he sets his gaze on Earth, gods stop fighting and start begging. Spirits flee. Death itself hides. Even cosmic forces falter, because what do you do when your enemy isn't darkness, but the absence of anything to fight at all? Hercules realizes this in Chaos War 3, 2010, when he sees that strength, strategy, and even godhood mean nothing. The Chaos King isn't a villain. He's inevitability, a force that doesn't decide your fate. It removes the idea of fate entirely. And yet, even inevitability has moments of vulnerability, and it's here that the story takes a turn. Not because he weakens, but because someone else dares to defy him. Someone who believes there's value in existence, even if it's chaotic, flawed, and fragile. But to understand the final confrontation, you need to understand the heart of the Chaos King, the truth that beneath the god, beneath the void, there is a prisoner. A forgotten shape hiding behind the mask of oblivion, and that revelation hits like thunder. Because Chaos King was once the first light's reflection, a being never meant to be anything until creation happened, and he's never forgiven it for that. When Hercules uncovers the truth in Chaos War 3, 2010, it reframes the entire cosmic conflict. Chaos King wasn't born wicked, he wasn't born at all. When the first gods ignited light in the emptiness, that radiant spark cast a shadow, and that shadow became him. A reflection with no purpose, created accidentally, abandoned immediately. Chaos King grew out of rejection, not hate. The universe wasn't his enemy because it hurt him. It was his enemy because it ignored him. He was the leftover equation in a cosmic formula. The darkness that only existed because light insisted on shining. And that's the tragedy woven into every moment of his rise. He isn't trying to destroy creation. He's trying to reclaim the only thing he ever truly owned, the silence that came before everything. In Chaos War 4, 2010, as Hercules assembles a last stand of gods, ghosts, avengers, and cosmic stragglers, the Chaos King barely notices them. He exists on a different scale. Their swords, shields, and energy blasts feel like raindrops tapping on an ocean trench. He doesn't roar in battle. He doesn't threaten. He simply moves, and existence bends around him like thin paper. When he speaks, the rare times he even bothers, his voice isn't loud. It's quiet, flat, almost disappointed. The way someone sounds when they're cleaning up a mess they never wanted in the first place. The most haunting moment arrives when he confronts the revived god of death, Mikaboshi's old rival, in the now collapsing Afterrealm. The Chaos King doesn't fight. He doesn't posture. He merely touches the dying realm and it blinks out. Just gone, like it never mattered. It's in this moment that Hercules truly understands. This is not a war. This is erasure. Earth becomes the final refuge, the last stubborn ember of creation, refusing to go dark. The surviving gods rally behind Hercules, but even they can feel it. The void is closing in. The edges of reality are thinning. Stars begin to flicker, not explode, just fade, like they're being quietly forgotten. And yet, humanity keeps fighting, even as the sky fractures, even as the dead rise only to fall again. Even as the universe itself trembles, people cling to each other and to the idea that existence, with all its chaos, grief, love, and imperfection, is still worth protecting. This infuriates the Chaos King more than any attack, not because he feels threatened, because he doesn't understand it. Why fight so hard for a universe that will one day die anyway? Why cling to something destined to fade? Why worship creation when creation gave birth to suffering? The Chaos King watches humanity and feels the closest thing he has felt to emotion in eons: confusion, a glitch in the void, a reminder of the light that cast him aside. In Chaos War 5, 2011, Hercules makes a desperate gamble, not by striking harder, but by manipulating the very rules of reality. With the power of the Earthborn gods and the Chaos King's own cosmic imbalance, he traps the Chaos King inside an artificial pocket universe, a prison made of pure nothingness. The irony is poetic. The void that wanted to swallow everything is forced into a void made specifically for him. Locked away in a blank cage where he can neither erase nor be erased, the Chaos King doesn't scream. He doesn't panic. He simply stands in perfect stillness, surrounded by an emptiness that isn't truly his. A void without meaning. A silence without purpose. The universe is saved, but not restored. Countless afterlives remain gone. Entire pantheons remain devoured. Some souls never return. It's a victory lined with grief and the lingering dread that the Chaos King is still out there, thinking, waiting, dreaming. Because for beings like him, time is irrelevant. A prison isn't a defeat. It's an intermission. And somewhere in that artificial emptiness, the first shadow of creation waits for the moment the universe lets its guard down again. Because if there's one truth that echoes across eternity, it's this: light can only shine when darkness allows it. Even after the last echo of the battle fades, the Marvel Universe doesn't celebrate. There is no triumphant parade, no thunderous applause, no shining new dawn. Instead, there's a quiet stillness, as if reality itself is catching its breath, terrified that moving too quickly might draw the Chaos King's attention again. The gods that survived look at each other with hollow eyes. They know what was lost. They know what cannot be brought back. And deep within them lies a fear they refuse to speak aloud. What if the Chaos King is right? What if everything ends, no matter how fiercely you fight to keep it alive? But Hercules, battered and exhausted, stands tall not because he's confident, but because he refuses to kneel to despair. He reminds the survivors and every reader that existence isn't sacred because it's perfect. It's sacred because it continues. Because it keeps evolving, stumbling, rebuilding, and rising again, even when cosmic darkness tries to erase it. In the aftermath shown throughout Chaos War, Aftermath 2011, worlds that escaped annihilation begin to rebuild. Spirits wander without homes. Entire pantheons try to reclaim their place in a universe that feels strangely smaller. Yet life pushes forward, and somewhere beyond the boundaries of creation, trapped inside a pocket null realm, the Chaos King simply waits. He is patient in a way no mortal or god could fathom. Because for a being who predates time itself, 1,000 years or 1,000,000 makes no difference. He remembers the light that birthed him. He remembers the gods who feared him. He remembers the heroes who defied him. But most importantly, he remembers the silence. That eternal, perfect silence that once belonged to him, the one thing he still hungers for. And even in his prison, he believes the universe will eventually collapse into the void. That entropy, decay, and cosmic exhaustion will one day open the door he needs. And when that moment comes, he won't return with rage or vengeance. He will return with the same calm certainty he carried since the dawn. Everything that begins must end. And he is the end. The Chaos King isn't gone. He isn't defeated. He's merely waiting for the universe to get tired. And in that unsettling, cosmic quiet, Marvel leaves us with a final, chilling truth. Heroes rise. Gods fall. Worlds break. But the void. The void is patient, and it never stops listening.